Well, hello. I hope you're all well. It's Friday, the 9th of September. I don't know where the week has gone. It seems completely crazy. But it means that we're now on day 5 of our journey through the Bible, and I hope you're enjoying it. Our passages today, let's kick straight in with Genesis. And today we see God's covenant that he made with Noah, where God said that he will never again destroy his creation. And the sign that he gives of this covenant is a rainbow. Now, if you listened at school, you'll know that a rainbow comes when sun or light shines through rain. And so imagine that these people that would have been there, when it starts to rain, perhaps the first thing that comes to them would have been fear, knowing that last time it rained, there was a flood and everything was destroyed, everyone died. And yet just at that time, when the rain starts to fall, is when people would have seen that sign and would remember God's promise and God's covenant with them. And then a little bit later on in the chapter, we see Noah, a bizarre little incident where Noah plants a vineyard, drinks some of the wine from it, and ends up getting drunk. Noah that yesterday we were looking at and saying that he was completely upright and blameless. Today he gets drunk and passes out somewhere. Don't ever think that you or anybody else have made it and are beyond falling. Anybody, the best person that you can think of who nobody thinks can do any wrong, can at some point find themselves in a completely unwanted situation. But note the way that his sons took care of him and dealt with the situation. They didn't, or two of them at least, didn't glory in their dad's situation. They didn't make fun of him. They didn't mock him. They didn't kind of keep bringing it up. But with diplomacy and tact and love, they just carefully took care of the situation. They went in backwards so that they didn't see, to avoid any further shame brought on their dad. And they just covered him up and left it there. And then from chapter 10, we just see again a long list of names and this table of nations. And basically what that's about is it's just a record of human kingdoms. And it's tracing all the nations that were around at the time Genesis was written back to, if you like, their ancestors. If you like, it's a little bit kind of like tracing, I don't know, the history of Wales back to the original Welshman or something like that. So that's what all that's about. And basically it's just about human kingdoms that are built on pride. And tomorrow we're going to see that all go wrong. Contrast that with our Matthew passage today when we see Jesus preaching about the kingdom of heaven. Now, the kingdom of heaven is different to any human kingdom. And a little bit after that, we see him go into the Beatitudes. Just this long list of blessed is this person, blessed are you in this, blessed are you in that. That word, blessed, it literally means fortunate or happy, which doesn't seem to make sense. Look down the thing, happy are the poor. Or fortunate are those that mourn. Happy are the hungry. Happy are the peacemakers. Fortunate are those that are persecuted. It doesn't seem to make sense. I'm not sure I want to be a part of this kingdom. But the passage isn't saying they're happy because of their circumstance. They're happy or they're fortunate because of the promises of God that stand in those circumstances. Let's have a look again in chapter 5, starting verse 3. Blessed or happy, if you like, are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Happy are those that mourn, because they will be comforted. Fortunate are those that hunger and thirst, for they will be filled. All the way down, verse 10. Happy are those that are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Friends, whatever circumstance or situation you find yourself in, you do have reason to be happy and to celebrate, because the promise of God, that faithful God that we've been looking at over the last few days, who is faithful to his promises, is there, and there are promises for you. Let's look at our psalm, Psalm 4. And verse 6 there we see, many are asking, who can show us any good? That reminds us, just as in Genesis, that humans, in our own strength, in our own power, can't really do any good. And yet the verse goes on, let the light of your face shine upon us, O Lord. And that ties in with our Matthew passage, that the kingdom of heaven is something very different. And then in Proverbs, there's the verse there, in Proverbs 1, verse 10, it says, my son, if sinners entice you, do not give in. Friends, we are made for something more. Don't be led astray by people that are out to mess about. We're made for something more, and sometimes we can waste all our time building these human kingdoms out of pride and wanting that glory, if you like, that we saw Jesus being tempted by yesterday. But Jesus invites us to put all our energy into building the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven. And where is this kingdom? It's in you, it's in me. And so tomorrow we're going to look at that in a little bit more detail. Friends, have a good day, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. God bless.